I ended my last report, Satanic versus the Muslim Killers, by claiming that we Westerners are not as squeaky clean as some want you to believe. I was referring to the mounting evidence for the real reasons for the invasion of Iraq and other matters. I will come to that in a moment. But first, let me comment on an unconfirmed report about a series of mysterious seismic events that took place between the years of 1995 and 2000. Seismic events that were recorded in or near Glendale, California. Between 1995 and 2000, Dick Cheney was the CEO of Halliburton, where he set the stage for the later bankruptcy filing of 5 or 6 subsidiaries when he acquired Dresser Industries, a company that was in deep trouble because of its asbestos liabilities. Just about at the time, another mysterious seismic event took place. I believe I found the cause of the Glendale quakes. Glendale is the resting place of Earl Palmer Halliburton, the founder of Halliburton, who, according to his grandson, was spinning in his grave every time Cheney did something stupid. I'm reasonably certain that those spins caused the seismic events I was referring to. Hello there, welcome back. The subject today includes pictures that are graphic by nature and are intended for mature audiences only. To begin with, New York, we have a problem. Actually, Preet Bharara has a problem. He is a district attorney for the Southern District of New York. You may remember that Eric Holder decided to have Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, Ramzi Bin Alshibh, and other Guantanamo detainees tried in New York. Of course, Michael Mukasey was dead set against it. These people should be tried before a military tribunal in Guantanamo. Actually, these people are alleged to have committed terrorist acts. They were not military combatants, so why should they not be tried in federal courts? The answer is very simple. Mukasey does not want the public to know that their confessions were obtained by torture, a fact already admitted by Susan Crawford, the convening authority for Guantanamo military commissions. And I do not mean waterboarding, I mean tasering to unconsciousness and beatings. Mukasey wants to cover it up and not have the defense argue torture in open court, a fact admitted by George W. Bush.
And finally, the techniques that we use have been fully disclosed to appropriate members of the United States Congress.
And Cheney, I may add. But the problems for Mr. Bharara go further. Much of the evidence the case is based upon comes from Germany. Germany has a strict policy against the death penalty and does not extradite or cooperate as long as the death penalty is on the table. Sure enough, Germany is a party pooper and will not provide crucial evidence unless the United States agrees to take the death penalty off the table. Finally, what on earth makes you believe that you can find an unbiased jury in New York, given the fact that so pretty much all New Yorkers hate those that hijacked the planes and flew them into their landmarks? And I don't blame them. On a different subject, 9/11 gave the US a clear and internationally accepted ground to invade Afghanistan after the Taliban, I believe, took credit for 9/11, as did Bin Laden. The picture is quite different when it comes to Iraq. Actually, Bush and Cheney had planned the invasion of Iraq some 8 months before 9/11.
From the very beginning, there was a conviction that Saddam Hussein was a bad person and that he needed to go.
He says that going after Saddam Hussein was topic A 10 days after the inauguration, 8 months before September 11th.
Indeed, according to the Washington Post, Cheney held some 40 meetings on the Iraq invasion with interest groups, mostly energy and oil companies. Moreover, Bush met with Tony Blair of England to discuss the invasion of Iraq and got an agreement to participate. Now, what was on Cheney's mind when they were discussing an attack on a civilian population absent provocation? Saddam Hussein was a bad man and needed to go. Cheney said that? As I said before, Cheney was Halliburton's CEO and owed them big time after he laid the groundwork for the bankruptcy filing of 5 or 6 subsidiaries. Halliburton was in the oil exploration business. Now, convincing Americans to go to war because somebody is a bad man wasn't that easy. That's why they would have needed Joseph Goebbels, Hitler's propaganda minister. But never mind, they found one equally skilled. Let's hear it.
A nuclear weapon in less than a year. Facing clear evidence of peril, we cannot wait for the final proof, the smoking gun that could come in the form of a mushroom cloud.
Simply stated, there is no doubt that Saddam Hussein now has weapons of mass destruction. There is no doubt that he is amassing them to use against our friends, against our allies, and against us.
We know where they are. They're in the area around Tikrit and Baghdad.
Oh, and of course, Saddam had ties to the 9/11 terrorists.
The team has long-standing and continuing ties to terrorist organizations, and there are al-Qaeda terrorists inside Iraq.
Well, let me make a long story short. Oops, I guess I missed that one. Here is the proud result, or at least one of it, if you want to overlook the tens of thousands of civilians killed. Actually, Shell's 25-year contract is just one of the benefits Big Oil reaped from the Iraq War. Oh, and did I mention that Halliburton got, I believe, over $10 billion in no-bid government contracts? And did I mention another pattern match when I started out with the seismic events? Well, here are a couple. You see, after Cheney had Halliburton buy Dresser, Halliburton shares were in free fall. After the Iraq War was started, they went up like a rocket. Of course, that included Cheney's stock option values. Hell, there is something to rocket science, isn't there? But Cheney's stock options are a story for another day. Take care. Before I go, if the torture pictures made you sick for more than 4 hours, call your doctor right away.